Hey there, fellow pigeon lovers. Welcome back to the channel. I'm so happy you're joining me today for what I believe is one of the most important conversations we can have as pigeon keepers, how to naturally treat and prevent salmonella infections in our beloved birds. If you're new here, I'm Jamie, and my journey with pigeons started over 15 years ago when I rescued my first injured racing pigeon. That experience changed my life and set me on this path of natural pigeon care. Before we dive in, if you find value in today's video, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our weekly pigeon care videos. And I'd absolutely love to hear about your experiences in the comments section below. Our community grows stronger when we share our knowledge. Today, we're exploring the wonderful world of herbal remedies for salmonella, a condition that unfortunately affects many pigeon lofts at some point. Rather than immediately reaching for antibiotics, which have their place but can create resistant bacteria over time, I want to share some effective natural approaches I've developed over years of working with hundreds of birds. Understanding salmonella in pigeons. Let's start by understanding what we're dealing with. Salmonella in pigeons, sometimes called paratyphoid, can be really challenging for our feathered friends. You might notice your birds becoming lethargic, having loose droppings, drinking more water than usual, or developing swollen joints. Young birds are especially vulnerable and can spread quickly through a loft if we don't address it. I remember when my favorite blue bar racer, Sky, started showing these symptoms. I was worried sick about her, and that's when I really dove deep into researching natural remedies. What I discovered changed not just her health, but my entire approach to pigeon care. The beauty of natural treatments is that they not only address the infection itself, but support the bird's overall immune system, helping them fight off not just this infection, but preventing future ones too. That's the power of working with nature rather than against it. The Herbal Medicine Cabinet for Pigeons. Now let's open up our natural medicine cabinet and talk about the amazing herbs that can help our pigeons fight salmonella. I keep all of these in my loft's health corner, and they've become my trusted allies in keeping my birds healthy. Oregano, nature's antibiotic. First up is oregano, truly one of nature's most powerful antibiotics. The active compound in oregano carvacrol has impressive antimicrobial properties that can help fight salmonella bacteria. What I love about oregano is that it doesn't just kill the bad bacteria, it seems to know the difference between beneficial gut flora and harmful invaders. I primarily use oregano oil, which is highly concentrated, so a little goes a long way. For my pigeons, I add about 2 drops of food-grade oregano oil to 1 liter of drinking water 3 times a week during an active infection. The water will become slightly cloudy with a distinct smell. Don't worry, that's normal. Most pigeons will drink it without issue, but if your birds are particularly picky, you can start with just 1 drop and work your way up. You can also sprinkle dried oregano directly onto their feed, about 1/4 teaspoon per cup of feed. I like to mix it with a tiny bit of olive oil first, so it sticks better to the seeds. The wonderful thing about oregano is that it's not just fighting the infection, it's also supporting digestive health and reducing inflammation throughout their bodies. Thyme, the gentle protector. Next is thyme, oregano's gentler cousin, but still packing a powerful punch against bacteria. Thyme contains thymol, which has excellent antimicrobial properties, but tends to be a bit easier on sensitive systems. I find it works beautifully alongside oregano. For thyme, I like to make a strong tea by steeping about 2 tablespoons of fresh thyme, or 1 tablespoon dried, in a cup of hot water for about 15 minutes. Once cooled, I add about 2 tablespoons of this tea to each liter of drinking water. The birds actually seem to enjoy the subtle flavor. What makes thyme special is its affinity for the respiratory system. Since salmonella can sometimes affect the respiratory tract in pigeons, thyme provides targeted support right where it's needed. I noticed this particularly with my older birds, who seem to recover their energy much faster when thyme was part of their treatment protocol. Turmeric, the golden healer. Then we have turmeric, that beautiful golden spice that's getting so much attention in human health circles these days. And for good reason. Turmeric contains curcumin, which has powerful anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties. The challenge with turmeric is that curcumin isn't easily absorbed on its own. That's why I always combine it with a tiny amount of black pepper, which contains piperine that enhances absorption, and a drop of oil. I make a simple paste with 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric powder, a tiny pinch of black pepper, and a drop of olive oil. This small amount is enough for about 4 to 6 pigeons, mixed into their feed once daily during an infection. I've found turmeric particularly helpful for birds showing signs of joint swelling, which can happen with salmonella infections. One of my racing homers, Thunder, had a swollen wing joint that just wouldn't improve until I added turmeric to his regimen. Within a week, the swelling had noticeably decreased, and he was back to his normal flight patterns. Echinacea, the immune booster. Echinacea is next on our list. It's primarily an immune system booster rather than a direct bacteria fighter. Think of it as calling in reinforcements. Echinacea helps mobilize the bird's own immune system to fight the infection more effectively. I use Echinacea tincture, adding about 5 drops to a liter of drinking water every other day. If you can find Echinacea in powder form, a small pinch can be added to their feed instead. I don't recommend using Echinacea continuously. It works best when used for about 2 weeks during an active infection, then taking a break for a week before resuming if needed. The wonderful thing about Echinacea is how quickly it seems to perk up a bird's energy levels. You'll often notice a visible difference in their alertness and activity within just a couple of days of starting treatment. Garlic, the ancient protector. We can't talk about natural antimicrobials without mentioning garlic, one of the oldest medicinal foods known to humanity, and just as beneficial for our pigeons as it is for us. Garlic contains allicin, which has powerful antibacterial properties. Fresh is definitely best with garlic. I crush 1 small clove, and I mean small. Pigeon systems are sensitive, and let it sit for about 10 minutes before adding it to a liter of drinking water. The waiting time is important because it allows the allicin compound to develop fully. I offer this garlic water once or twice a week during treatment. Some pigeons might turn their beaks up at the strong smell, so start with a very diluted amount and work your way up. Alternatively, you can soak some of their grains in garlic water, then drain and dry them before feeding. This provides the benefits without the strong taste in their drinking water. Cinnamon is another wonderful addition to our natural pharmacy. It has antimicrobial properties and helps improve circulation and digestion. I add about an 1/8 teaspoon of Ceylon cinnamon, not cassia cinnamon, which can be too strong, to a cup of feed. What I've noticed with cinnamon is that it seems to be particularly helpful during cooler months when birds are already under some stress from temperature changes. It provides a gentle warming effect that supports their overall vitality while fighting infection, creating an effective herbal protocol. Now, you might be wondering, do I use all these herbs at once? Great question. While each herb has its benefits, I've found that combining them strategically works better than throwing everything at the problem at once. Here's my basic protocol that has worked wonders in my loft. For active infections, days 1 to 3, oregano oil in water, 2 drops per liter, plus turmeric paste in feed. Days 4 to 6, thyme tea in water plus garlic in water, alternating days. Days 7 to 10, echinacea in water plus cinnamon in feed. Then repeat the cycle until symptoms improve, usually 2 to 3 cycles. For prevention and maintenance, just once weekly. Alternate between oregano water, thyme tea, and garlic water. Twice monthly, add a pinch of turmeric to their feed. Remember, herbs work more gently than pharmaceutical antibiotics, so patience is key. You should start seeing improvement within 5 to 7 days, but complete resolution might take 2 to 3 weeks. That's actually a good thing. It means the body is healing itself with just a little herbal assistance, leading to stronger immunity over time. Supportive care, it's not just herbs. While these herbs are powerful allies, supporting your pigeons in other ways during infection is just as important. Think of it as creating the perfect environment for healing to occur. First, probiotics are absolutely essential when treating any bacterial infection. The herbs will help fight the bad bacteria, but we need to replenish the good bacteria too. I use a pigeon-specific probiotic powder, but in a pinch, organic, unpasteurized apple cider vinegar, about 5 milliliters per liter of water twice weekly, on days when you're not giving herbs, can help support healthy gut flora. Keeping the loft clean becomes even more critical during an infection. I do a deep clean with a natural disinfectant like diluted hydrogen peroxide when dealing with Salmonella. Pay special attention to water and feed containers. I actually replace them with clean ones daily during active infections. Reducing stress is another crucial factor. Pigeons fighting infection need extra rest and quiet. I minimize handling and separate affected birds to give them space to recover without competition for food or dealing with the hierarchy of the loft. And don't forget about sunlight. Natural vitamin D from direct sunlight, not filtered through glass, helps the immune system tremendously. If possible, ensure your birds get at least an hour of natural sunlight daily. It's free medicine. When to seek veterinary help. I'm passionate about natural remedies, but I also believe in knowing when additional help is needed. If your pigeon isn't showing improvement after 7 days of herbal treatment, or if they're getting worse at any point, particularly if they stop eating or drinking, please consult an avian veterinarian. Natural remedies work wonderfully for mild to moderate cases and for prevention, but severe infections might require conventional treatment. The good news is that many herbs can work alongside conventional treatments to support recovery and prevent side effects. I remember my beautiful white fantail, Pearl, who wasn't responding to herbs alone for a particularly stubborn infection. The vet prescribed antibiotics, but I continued with probiotics, given at different times of day from the antibiotics, and immune-supporting herbs like Echinacea. The combination worked beautifully, and she recovered faster than expected, preventing Salmonella naturally. As with all health issues, prevention is much easier than treatment. I've found that pigeons who receive regular herbal support rarely develop Salmonella infections, even when exposed. My prevention protocol is simple. A clove of crushed garlic in their water once weekly. Oregano oil, 1 drop per liter, once every 2 weeks. Apple cider vinegar twice monthly. Regular loft cleaning and fresh bedding. Careful introduction of new birds with a quarantine period. Another prevention tip that's made a huge difference in my loft is controlling rodents naturally. Mice and rats can carry Salmonella, so keeping them away with natural deterrents like peppermint oil around the outside of the loft helps break the transmission cycle. Building a relationship with herbs. What I love most about using herbs for my pigeons is how it's changed my relationship with both the birds and the plants. I've learned to observe subtle changes in my pigeons' behavior that tell me when something's not quite right, often before obvious symptoms appear. I've also developed a deeper appreciation for these plant allies. I now grow many of these herbs myself in a small garden near the loft. There's something special about harvesting fresh thyme or oregano, thanking the plant, and taking it directly to prepare for the birds. It connects us all in this beautiful cycle of care and healing. When you work with herbs, you're not just treating a condition, you're supporting the whole bird. I've noticed that birds treated with herbs seem to have better feather quality, more vibrant colors, and more energy during the following season. It's as if the herbs address imbalances we didn't even know were there. Connecting with the pigeon community. One of the most rewarding aspects of sharing these natural methods has been connecting with other pigeon keepers around the world. We're building a community of people who care deeply about their birds and want to work with nature rather than against it. I'd love to hear about your experiences with natural remedies. Has oregano worked wonders in your loft? Have you discovered another herb that's been helpful for your birds? Please share in the comments below. Your insight might be exactly what another pigeon keeper needs to hear today. And if you found value in this video, please consider sharing it with other pigeon enthusiasts. Together, we can spread knowledge about gentle, effective ways to care for these amazing birds that bring so much joy to our lives. Closing thoughts. Before I sign off, I want to thank you for your dedication to your pigeons. The fact that you've watched this entire video shows how much you care about giving them the best possible care. That kind of commitment makes my heart sing. Remember that working with herbs is a journey. You'll learn what works best for your particular birds and situation. Keep notes on what you try and how your birds respond. Over time, you'll develop an intuitive sense of which herbs are needed when. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. I do my best to respond to everyone, and our community members often jump in with helpful advice too. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss next week's video on natural support for molting season, another crucial time when herbs can make a huge difference. Until next time, may your lofts be healthy and your birds happy. This is Jamie signing off, and remember, when we heal our pigeons naturally, we heal a little piece of the world too.